Hello and welcome to Made in the Motherland podcast. My name is Duke. I'm an entrepreneur, a social commentator, and a change advocate. And on this podcast, I'm sitting with successful entrepreneurs, artists, and creatives from the motherland to have conversations that bring insight, shines the spotlight on who we are as a people, and also helps create a new narrative about Africa. Let's get it. So we have Uncle Sam in the building today.
Yes, sir.
Samuel Obing, to be more exact. And I can't tell you how excited and honored I am to have you here, man. You're a great man, a great legend of this city, New York, and just having you here, taking your time, taking time out of your schedule to be here and to just do this. I really appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome, sir. I'm glad I'm being part of this whole thing that you put it together, and I think we're going to make it a big hit. Not just here, but I think the purpose is to take it to Ghana and let the people
Right.
in Ghana benefit more than what we intend to do here.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank you, and I thank you so much for that because part of what I think my life's journey has been is an attempt to kind of build bridges and kind of connect seemingly opposite or diverse things. I just think that people who are successful, people who are not successful yet, people who are here, people who are back home, people who are trying to achieve. I try to make an attempt that if I find any information, I find people who have information. I try to connect them with people who need that information. So you saying you're gonna try to make this work and make this a success is very good to hear. But let's get into some nice stuff. So obviously you're a great man. You're a businessman, successful businessman, and we're gonna go into your accomplishments or just your life's journey. But just tell us a little bit about yourself, like personal. You can start from wherever, from Ghana, from childhood. Just tell us who are you and how did you get here in this building today?
That's a long story to tell, but I will make it short. Of course, I'm a Ghanaian. I've been in this country for almost 30 years now.
Okay.
And I think I cannot go wrong and I cannot say anything against this land that has given me so many and so much opportunities.
Right.
Coming from Ghana, you know, we didn't know where to start, but eventually we found one of the things I always say is that, those I'm part of the second generation of Ghanaians who came to America.
Okay.
The first generation were the trailblazers.
Okay.
They struggle.
Right.
The second generation, I would say I'm part of the second generation. When we came, we met the first generation. They didn't have much to offer,
Okay.
because they had gone through tough times.
Right.
So then they tell they could only give you what they have.
Right.
They can't give you more than what they have. So, but then coming from Ghana and having some kind of college education, my perspective of life is different.
Okay.
So, to me, one of the things that I always hear about Americans is I'm the first to go to college
Right.
in my family.
They're very proud of that.
Exactly. That's what they say all the time. Oh, I'm the first to go to college.
Right.
I'm the first. And so to me, it boils down to the same thing. I'm the first to go to college
Oh wow.
in my family. And
Now your family. Before we get to college, where's your family from in Ghana? What was your life in Ghana like? How did it start?
well, I grew up in Akimoda.
Achimoda. Okay.
Yes, I went to Odan Secondary School 1 to 5, and then I went to Adisado College, sixth form.
Oh,
From there,
Santa.
yes,
Okay.
and from there I went to Legon. I graduated in 1989.
Okay.
I did sociology and political science. My goal was to become a professor.
Oh
But
wow.
things changed along the way, and then I found myself in America, and everything changed. But whatever journey I have, made for myself,
Right.
I will never regret. It's a good journey. Has been a success. So going back to the first and the second generation, if you don't mind, I will.
No, that's fine. Yeah, I just wanted people to understand. where you're
Yes,
from.
I want to expand. So the second generation, when we came, of course, like I said, the first generation had went through so much. You know, at the time they came, American society wasn't very open.
Right.
But at one point, Americans decided to make Africa and people coming from Africa being accepted. And so when we came, it was still a difficult time, but we made it through. Some of us started very humbly, and then to me, one of the things I always say is education levels the ground for everybody.
Okay.
And so since I have that kind of background and I have that kind of mindset, soon as I get myself set, I went to school, graduated, master's degree in public finance, worked on Wall Street for a while, for about 15 years, and it was a very good thing. It was very good, type of work that I did, and eventually I decided that working for somebody will never make you successful. So I started my first business, and then from there I move on to the second, move on, and here we go. That's where we are now.
Okay. Now we're going to talk about the businesses because you have one of the most pivotal businesses that everybody from Ghana who visits New York knows. It's Papaye Restaurant, and we're going to talk about that. So among other businesses that you have, but I want to go back to your experience when you got here, right? When a lot of us get here, one of the first advices, because we are from very challenging backgrounds, when a lot of people from the motherland of Africa get here, um, you're told to set the bar as low as possible, right? Because you have people back home that you want to take care of who depend on you. What what was your agenda when you got here? A lot of people get here and they just want to survive. Mepɛ kakra, or they're just trying to get along. What was your dream? What was the ambition? Because this is the land of opportunity, obviously. So what was it? What was your goal? What were you coming for?
So, and you just said the exact thing I was thinking about and what we had gone through. When we came, the mantra of people who were already here and the people who were coming, even the people who came in the second generation, our goal was to get $100,000, $200,000. Well, maybe I'm about $100,000. I'm going back to Ghana. That was
That was a song.
that was a song, but they never got 100,000.
Yeah.
And those who even got it couldn't go, and those who went came back. You understand?
Gotcha.
Because the American society is more family oriented.
Right.
The immigrations will not come after you if you do the right thing. It's not like if you compare the lifestyle here to the lifestyle in Europe. Europe is more hustling.
Right.
You can't settle.
Right.
You can't even rent a place for yourself.
It's not inclusive.
Not at all. But here, even though here we still have our challenges, but it's more settling.
Right.
It's more so. To me, I realized that I cannot look into two bottles. I have to focus here.
Okay.
That's what kept me. I said, if I make it here, Ghana is secondary.
Got you.
Because if I try to play the two,
You get distracted.
you will not make it. So when I first came, I said, you know what? I will focus here. If I make it big here, Ghana is
Always going to be there.
it's a given.
Right.
It's a given, and that is what kept me.
Right.
And so when I focus all my ability and everything that I have within me to make it here, it's easy.
Okay.
It's so easy to transport myself back to Ghana. If I decide to go to Ghana and I want to do anything because of the experience, it's not about money.
Right.
It's what I've gone through, the things I have gone through can make me successful also in Ghana. Exactly. So that was what really kept me. Some of the people that I knew, they were, and one of the things I would say is, when they get the money, they push it back home. Of course, it's a good idea. Build houses, but
establish here.
Put your roots here first.
Okay.
If you're going to buy a house, buy it here, and then you could even borrow from the money from your house to do what. Right. But if you put the money in Ghana,
it's stuck.
It's stuck. There's no value.
Right.
Even if you put your house on the market, it will probably take years for you to sell. Not like here.
That's a great point.
Yes. So to me, the focus was here. If you make it here, if you put all your because we don't want to live on the fringes of the American society, even though we are not 100% accepted, but we don't want to live on the fringes.
Right.
Get inside the circle. Take what American has to offer you, and then when you make it again, Ghana is a giving.
That's great advice. Um, when you got here, what were the challenges? And I'm asking because the society has just obviously evolved. I got here somewhat 20 something odd years ago, and I just seen the progress, right? The change, right? So when you got here, I'm guessing there were a lot of obstacles in your way, and I'm asking that against the backdrop of your business success, right? And obviously, it's hard coming from a very far land, a very different culture, and navigating challenges to get the type of success that we're going to speak about. What were the initial challenges? What were some of those challenges that you remember?
Well, the first thing that everybody has to think about is to get your immigration status settled.
Right.
If you get that settled, everything else is open for you. You might not have 100% access to everything, but at least you could do anything that you want to do in your own capacity, in your own name. You're not borrowing somebody's identity to do anything. So that's the first focus. But it was a challenge, but you have to find a way to do it. And, I hear people who were here. I mean, for instance, I don't want to mention him, like Barako, like Kennedy Japan. He was here. He was a taxi driver. He did all of that. But all these guys, after they get themselves,
Established, right.
their status change, they improve themselves. So that's what everybody has to do. When you get your status change and you become well established here in terms of your migration status, everything else is good. So that was the biggest challenge. And I did all the odd jobs that you could think of. I don't want to mention it,
Of course,
but
I
every
understand.
odd job that you could think of, I did it. Even though I was a graduate from Ghana, but that's not what I was carrying on my shoulders.
Of course.
I wanted to do something to get myself somewhere before I can think about the biggest, picture. And that's what I did. But since I crossed that hurdle, everything else was an add-on.
Amazing.
Yes.
Amazing. And it speaks to the fact that I tell people, right? If you're ambitious and you have a goal, there's no job that is too small. There's
Not
nothing.
not at all.
There's nothing that
Not
is
at
too
all.
dirty or is too menial
I,
or is too insignificant.
Duke, I did it all.
Yeah,
I did it all,
yeah.
and I'm not ashamed of it.
And you shouldn't.
Yeah,
I
and
see people.
sometimes I go to places that I've worked before, and I tell them, say, I have done and they will ask, are you for real? I say, yes, I've done what you're doing now
Yeah,
before,
yeah, yeah.
and I'm not ashamed, and
It's pride. I take
yeah,
pride in that.
I put myself in their shoes and see the challenges they're going through,
Right.
but it is what it is. You have to start from somewhere to get
Amazing.
somewhere.
Okay, amazing stuff. Now let's get to your business success. Obviously, you own Papaye. You're a part owner of Papaye, which is one of the most pivotal, most well-known Ghanaian establishments in New York. Here, everybody who visits New York, from the greatest to the greatest to the smallest, you're told to visit Papaye Restaurant. Right. Let's talk about that. How did that get started?
Well, papaya is not my first business.
Okay, I know. Well,
Yeah, I had other businesses
okay.
before I got into. But let me correct it. I'm not a full owner. I'm a
Right,
partner.
part owner. Yes.
Yeah, I'm a partner. Of Sabon Su and his wife are my partners.
Okay.
So I'm a partner, and so I want to get the message across
Right.
that way. But I'm still a part owner,
Right.
no matter how you cut it.
Okay. So did you come in later, or did you start? Were you there from the inception?
No, they had started their own, the one on 167,
Okay.
and then I saw them the idea of
Expanded.
expanding it,
Okay.
and they bought it, and we did our second restaurant, and the plan was to kind of do more, but things kind of has been put on hold for a while because few challenges here and there.
Okay.
But it's, to me, the reason why I went into Papaya was that uh, I had friends on Wall Street at corporate offices. They always ask, Sam, you know, is there any African restaurant that we could go to? And at that time it was only Papaya number one on 167th Street. but I didn't like the ambience. I didn't like. It was more like the Ghanaian chop bar in quotes
Right.
type of. So you cannot even recommend people.
Right.
You know, most of the is just to take the food. People want to sit down
Enjoy.
and enjoy. And I always say this: most of the ethnic groups in America, they found their they found their entry into American society through their food.
Okay.
Italian food, French, Spanish, Jamaican food,
Yeah, Indian, Turkish.
Indian food, all this Chinese food. Where is the African food? We have been marginalized in the local. So people will ask, "Oh, where do you have?" And I'll say, "Oh, it's in the Bronx." Oh, we don't want to go to the Bronx. So to me, I got into Papaya still in the Bronx, thinking I will have the experience. And then if everything works the way I want it to go, then I could expand inside the city.
Yeah, Manhattan.
Manhattan, that's where the action is. And if we set it up not as a chop bar, but as a well set up fine dining African restaurant, the clientele is there.
Well, speaking about that, right? And when you go to a lot of the African or Ghanaian restaurants, generally African restaurants in New York, a lot of them have a very kind of interesting, for lack of a better word, outlook, right? It's not fine dine. The ambience is a little rundown, and and why is that? Because it seems like that's the only way people patronize it. And it goes back to Ghana. When you go to Ghana, a lot of the places that are doing good, they don't. It's not very
Well,
hospitable,
yes.
right?
Well, you have to sell what you people will buy into what you have.
Right.
But the mentality of the way we have our restaurants and the setup is that most people we only cater we focus on the African clientele,
Market,
and most of us, I mean, excuse me to say, we just want something small. We don't want to spend. But if you go to the Italian restaurant, you want to sit
right? Of
down
course.
and spend money. But here, the most they want to spend is $20, $30. Most they will complain. So you do what the clientele. But we have to make the room, set it up the way so they come into what you have. I will give you an example. When Nanado, our current president, was running for president the first time, he did a fundraising dinner in Manhattan. And Duke, we went to a Brazilian restaurant. Listen to this. And we had all Ghanaian doctors, lawyers, consultants, not only Ghanaians, everybody. It was a round table dinner. We paid $2,000 per plate just to see Nana. And so everybody has to introduce himself or herself. And so when it got to my turn, I told Nana, I stood up. I said, Nana, we are in the wrong place. Why would you come and raise funds in a Brazilian restaurant when we are all Africans? And so I promise you, the next time you come, you're going to find a 5-star fine dining restaurant in Manhattan. So when you even come to your UN meetings, you will bring your colleagues, African presidents, and come and eat. You understand what I'm saying?
I get that.
And so when he got to his turn to speak, you know who he acknowledged? I'm the only one. He said, "Sir, I take you on your word. I want to see that." I said, "Nana, I promise you." But here we are. I have the plan. I have made some moves on it, but I have all the blueprints. It has to happen. I told my son, I said, if I don't do it, you have to do it. It has to happen. It's a little bit risky to just push yourself in my hand because the real estate is very expensive. And so that's why we scale back.
Right.
But if somebody takes the effort to do a 5-star, and there are some 5-star restaurants, not 5-star, some good restaurants in Accra. I mean, I've been to Ghana. The service is more than the regular chop bar, of course, that are catering to a level of clientele that are ready to spend that kind of money. And mind you, a lot of the third generation kids that we have born here, who have the Ghanaian background, who have friends, who are in colleges, when they come home, they want to bring their colleagues, their girlfriends.
Yep.
but they want a better place to eat.
Yep.
So we have to set the arena for them.
Right.
And until somebody takes that, we're always going to be on the outside. And I think it's about time we do that.
That's amazing, especially now that the focus is so much in Africa and Ghana, especially. Everything about Ghana is garners a lot of interest. Everybody's interested in Ghana.
I tell you, Duke, I'm not going to cut you short. I've gone to Papaye where I've met Chinese people, Americans, and a host of people who even came from Brooklyn. They said, and sometimes I interview them, and they said we went to Ghana, we enjoyed the food, so when we came back, we want to continue.
Amazing. Ghana is so much in the spotlight right now, and this is why I think this podcast is super important, because what I'm trying to do is trying to connect, back home, the motherland, what we have back home, try to present it to people who are not able to get a first-hand experience, because we absolutely have to, right? Especially the new generation, kind of trying to show them the way, trying to explain to them the pitfalls on the path through business, entertainment, whatever it is that you want to do. The world is opening up. This is not the Ghana we used to know. Now I walk around and people find out I'm from Ghana, and they get excited.
Right.
Oh yeah, the Ghana's a new spot. I'm going in December, and there's this twinkle in their eye, this excitement
Look,
about it.
if you take Delta Airlines, percentage of Ghanaians probably 20, 30, 40. The most you probably could get is 50.
Yeah.
The rest are all foreigners.
Yes.
And Delta, when it's the peak season, they fly 5 days.
Yes. And the prices are insane.
Exactly.
And
but people still go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Africa, and before you couldn't have a direct flight.
Yeah.
Now, I always tell people, when I become rich, you know what I'm going to do?
You're already rich.
Say, there's nothing like that. I said, I'll leave New York on Thursday, go spend the weekend in Ghana, and come back Monday morning.
Yeah, it's doable now.
The rich people here, you know what they do? They go to Bahamas on Thursday. Monday morning, they're here. They go to Florida in the morning. On Thursday, they leave Thursday or Friday after work. Monday morning, they're here.
Yeah.
You know the difference? The flight is 9 hours. Of course, going to Florida is three hours, let's say. Or you're going to Bahamas is 2 hours. It's just the difference of about 5 hours.
Right.
You going longer.
Right.
But you could do it.
It's doable.
If you plan it, if you buy, if you have the mentality, I'm going to spend 4 weekends every year in Ghana, just Friday or Thursday to Monday, and you plan it ahead, you buy your ticket way deep inside, the price is going to be good. So I think that's where most people, I want to do that.
Yes.
I just want to spend.
So let's pivot to Ghana, right? Obviously, that's the motherland, right? What is your assessment of the business, stroke political atmosphere in Ghana now? What is your general assessment?
We still have our challenges. That I will tell you, but we have the political stability in Ghana, and this is one of the beacon of democracy in Africa. Americans were pumping all the resources to make sure that democracy, become stabilized, and Ghana was one of the first countries they looked into, and it has worked. It has worked since Kufuor and Rawlings, and so we have a peaceful transition of power, and it's so these things that we take for granted, that you could have an election and then there's no fighting of. It has happened here in America, of course it could happen, but Ghana has a very peaceful transition, and those things set up the environment for everything. When people feel security, that's where they invest. We still have some challenges to go. The Ghanaian worker mentality is still a long way to shoot, but I have people who say that I invested, and Duke, let me pitch in this. A lot of people here, a lot of Ghanaians who are in America, listen to this. If we have a very trustworthy workers and partners in Ghana, the amount of money that we could send back home for investment will be on par, will be so huge.
Yeah.
But listen to this. But the experience that people always say, I sent money to set up a business. It didn't work. I got duped. I left my business for a friend, a partner. When I came back, it didn't work. So the experience is all bad news. But if we could have people we could trust, people have money here that we could just say, oh, it's all set up, it's structured.
Right.
I could go into my books and see that everything that came in is what it is. Everybody will be, even if everybody could send $100,000, 50 to do some type of investment, the Ghanaian society
Be transformed.
we need that. That has to change.
Yes.
We need people to be working with us so that we could send the money there for investment.
That is the crux of the problem, as far as I'm concerned, right? Because you understand, you're a businessman. Trust is the number one thing that makes anything work. Any organization, any even organism, even your body. If your stomach doesn't trust your intestines, and your intestines doesn't trust your heart, it doesn't function.
Right.
And one of the things that really is the bane of doing business in Ghana is people are just not trustworthy. And what I'm trying to do is point to people that yes, times are hard, things are difficult, but if you can look long term, right, trying to dupe somebody, trying to get somebody, quickly and then Kwame Kakrada, it does not work. In the end, we all suffer.
Sir, you use the right long Ghanaians. A lot of the Ghanaians are short term.
Right.
They don't have a long term, and I've gone through some experiences like that. They just want to just get what they want to get today and forget that this relationship is for a long term.
Right.
And so if we don't change that,
And
and
how do we do that? That's because we all know what the problem
yes,
is. How do we change
social media? Social media. We need people to trumpet that hey, your brothers, your sisters, your friends in America, in diaspora, let's even are ready to send money to do investment. We need you to do your part. Be open to them. Don't just think short term. Open to them. Let them come and trust. Right. So we need all the media in Ghana, the radio station, trumpet,
the politicians.
Yes. Say, listen, they are ready to come.
A lot of people have a lot of money.
I'm scared.
Of course.
Because I cannot be in Ghana every day. So even if I put $500,000, not cedis, dollars to do something, I want to make sure that investment grows. But if I don't have a very good, trustworthy, good systems to be able to monitor what I've invested, I'm not going to. It's so risky. Yeah. I will sit on my money. Yeah. And so a lot of Ghanaians are sitting on their money.
A lot of money.
Billions
that could build Ghana.
Look, we cannot, the way Ghana would develop if we could have trustworthy partners, business partners and workers who are long-term thinking. The development that we will send, it's all about capital flight. Yeah. We need to send the money there.
We're sitting on the money here.
Yes, we are.
My thing is, and one of the things for my generation, right? Your generation is the generation that came before us. For my generation, one of the things that I consciously put out there, consciously, on social media, on every interaction, is to let people, at least have an awareness that, when you get too fast. Our generation is too fast, right? Obviously, they call us the microwave generation. We want everything too fast. The thing about success is if we can take our time and have a little introspection, look into our actions. Like you're saying, a lot of people don't even have to work hard because the money is there in the diaspora. Even African Americans, Ghana is the number one interest of the world now. If we can fix our attitudes towards trust, towards work, towards everything, just our mentality, not much. Just
a little
honest.
Bit shift.
Just be honest.
Just a little bit shift from the current thinking.
The manna will fall in our laps.
Look, listen, if we can get anything from this podcast, what we are just talking about, that people are ready to do investment. Because the stories I hear is horror stories, sad stories. Yes. Even just building a house in Ghana is a horror story. Yes. So if we don't change that, but if we do, of course, it has to start from somewhere.
Yeah.
Again, if we can't get anything from this first podcast, this message has to be sent across.
Yes. Yes.
This message
Yes.
of trustworthiness, dedication, the money we are ready, we have it.
Yes.
We are ready to do a capital flight from here to Ghana
The
and to
money
Africa.
is doing nothing here.
Yes, yes.
And people are ready,
Yes.
you know, and even people have tried. I have
Yeah.
friends, I'm told, even my personal self, right? You try to do business
Yes.
because you see other people investing, taking money here and investing and building their countries. And you try to do the same thing. And the first thing our people do is they think, oh, you're a prey.
You know, let me
And
give
it's
you.
sad.
Let me give you. When I went to Ghana last 2 years, my sister took me to a supermarket, and it's owned by this Turkish guys, I think Lebanese, and they were standing. They had Ghanaian workers all along, and they are the owners. About 4 of them. Duke, they standing right behind the register, and I asked and they take turns.
Right.
Take break, but always they have a minimum of 3 watching. And I asked my sister, why are they standing here? They should. He said, Sam, these people, they don't trust the Ghanaian worker. That's why they're here. And they're standing where the money is. Yes. They're standing right there. They don't trust. Even if you put cameras on them, but the fact is, we need an attitude change.
Yes.
You understand?
Totally agree. That's one of the things that I want to do with this podcast, and I've been doing, trying to say, hey, listen, we're heading into the ditch because people are losing interest in putting their hard-earned money in Ghana and I guess by extension Africa. I don't know about other African countries, but the problem is, you know, when that happens, your children, all the children of the motherland get stuck outside. Young professionals have a lot of money. And they're going on vacations. We'd rather go take a $20,000 vacation because, in a lot of sense, you're better off than sending it back home to buy land where you lose the land or you lose your money and
it cuts across all spheres of the economy. It's not only land buying or building.
Yeah.
Just small business.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, America is small businesses that is the engine of the economy.
Yeah.
You know, we have the Magnificent Seven, they're trillion that, but they can't employ everybody.
Right.
Small businesses.
Yeah.
Small businesses is the engine of American economy. And that's what we need. If we could have 1,000, 2,000 Ghanaians or 5,000 Ghanaians setting up small business, service industry, food industry, consultancy, health, NGO. People have experiences here. Things that make things work. They have it. They're ready to transport that kind of ideas and skill sets and experience in Ghana. But we don't have the infrastructure. The infrastructure, not just, the infrastructure might be there, the human capital, it is so lacking, the trust is not there. And that's what we need to talk about and change.
I think that's the work of this generation, if anything, right? The generation before us did a lot of work, fought a lot of battles, you know, try to get the infrastructure of a working country working, the constitution, you know, everything. But this generation, if there's one work that we can do, is to fix ourselves and the mindset. At least teach the generations that's behind us. Because one thing I tell people is, you know, the generation before us were lucky. You know, our parents were lucky. So if they made mistakes, we forgive them. But this new generation, they're a different type of breed. They are very fast. They're restive. They're not easily controlled. So they might not forgive us if we disappoint them, right? So we have to at least start waking up and saying, listen, we are missing opportunities. Individually and collectively, we're missing a lot of opportunities to capitalize on all this goodwill that we're having as a country, as a people. But the next thing I want to talk about is Africa vis-a-vis African American relationships, right? One of the things that I believe is that, you know, we have millions of African Americans, African descendant people in the diaspora with a lot of money, a lot of knowledge, a lot of capital, a lot of experience. If we as Africans can fix ourselves, fix the motherland, right, and re-engage our kids, our people, our children, our descendants that are scattered all over the world, can you imagine how much exponential growth we can have if we can bring all our children home? Can you imagine if we can reconnect? Even just this um, thing that we have in Ghana, right? Homecoming or whatever they call
Year
it.
of return.
Year of return, yes. Year of return that we have. Look at the interest that I have a friend who just went to Ghana. She's a doctor in Manhattan. She just went to Ghana last week. The first thing she called me is, Duke, I have never felt this much peace in my soul. When I stepped in Ghana, I felt at home. I don't see billboards with white people. All I see is black people. It feels amazing. And you can hear her so comforted because she's back in the motherland. And she wants to buy a home. She wants to invest there.
Look, to just continue from that, when I took my kids, my two sons to Ghana about 8 years ago. My older one, when we went, he was 18 years. Do you know he had never been to Ghana until we got there? As soon as we got out of the airport, he turned around and said, Dad, this is home. Wow. He hasn't even stepped out of the airport. He saw people like him. Right. 100% people. And so he said, that's the first thing he told me, Dad, this is home.
Yeah. You feel it.
He did. And so I said, yes. And so after we went through our 2 weeks vacation, he had vowed that he was going to go every year, but he hasn't done that. Of course, there are things, but he felt it. And if you go on YouTube, there are so many stories of such nature there. There's this couple, a pharmacist and a doctor. I think the husband is also a doctor. They live in Ghana now. Okay. They have a YouTube channel that they form a consultancy that they are selling Ghana to African Americans here. Wow. If you want to move to Ghana, they have a whole book. They will take you through the process. They will tell you how to buy a land,
wow,
how to build, how to register business, how to do everything. They have it. And they have a club. When you come and you become successful and you like it, you join them. And so we have some of these people who are not even Ghanaians selling Ghana. I'm telling you, it's real. Go on YouTube.
I forgot it is real. And this is why I think this podcast was very important to me, because we have to tell our own stories. Because if we don't, other people are going to tell it and profit off of it.
Look, if you don't start from somewhere, you will not get anywhere.
Right.
You understand? Yeah. So to me, what you're doing, of course, we need a bigger amplifier, microphone. We need a bigger microphone to reach the audience that we want to. Right. But you started the right thing. Yeah. And so I think your platform has to cut across all the challenges and the areas that we think will help Ghana. And I think your focus is to help the motherland, which is Ghana, and see how best we could contribute to the development of our country.
Because I love the motherland. I mean, I've been in the West for a while, and all my travels, all my years here, I've never really considered myself as a Westerner. I've never really lost the roots, because my identity is tied to a certain place, the motherland, right? The stories growing up.
But why should we lose? The Irish American is still Irish. They do this St. Patrick
every year.
Look at, even the Dominicans.
Yes.
They're still Dominicans.
Yes.
Look, Puerto Ricans. Yes. They still. So why should we lose our identity?
We who are from the motherland.
Exactly.
Right. And we have challenges.
The Italians, they will always tell you I'm Italian
and American.
Because
speak less of the Chinese. The Chinese they don't even integrate.
Yes, they don't. But they don't. But they find a way to integrate economically.
Yes.
Socially, they don't.
Right.
but economically, which is okay.
Right.
If we don't want to integrate, I mean, culturally and
Right.
socially, that's fine.
Right.
But economically, we should be able to integrate.
Right. Of course, not without losing our identity. And I was saying that to get to the fact that when I've had instances when dealing with Ghanaians, right, dealing with our own people, when I go back home, and this podcast is about being honest and being truthful because we have to look at ourselves in the mirror. I've had instances where even people look at me and say, there's a certain type of friction. Oh, I brought you fraud yet. You think you're wiser. I'm not sure if it's jealousy or if it's just resentment, right? And it kind of creates a certain separation, right? Where you go back and you obviously think you know better than everybody, and it's not that I know better than everybody. It's just I did not go through all these challenges and get all these experiences to come back and throw dirt in the streets like you do, right? I did not go out there to get all these experiences. The whole point of taking leaving the motherland and going into the West or going into Europe or whatever is to get experiences and come back home and help, because all our great leaders did that. Nkrumah did that, right? And so there seems to be a little bit of friction when you go back. There's a certain level of
but people tend to forget that Kwame Nkrumah was trained in America.
Yeah.
Even at that time, the opportunity was not there. But he took what America has, what he learned, to Ghana and did what he has to do.
Yeah.
So there's nothing wrong. Our first president came to school in America,
and a lot of presidents after that have done that.
Yes.
Right? There's just and one guy was telling me, you sound.
But Duke, migration is biblical.
Yes.
When God met Abraham, he told him to leave that's migration.
Yeah, that's migration. Yeah.
That's migration.
Yeah.
He told, leave your father's house.
Right.
And go to a land that I will show you.
Yeah.
That's migration.
Yeah.
Look, the whole of the Jewish people, they migrate.
Yeah.
So migration, to go to a land and get the skills and learn new things, to come back to your country or to your motherland to help, there's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
And if I come with a different attitude and mentality, there's nothing wrong that I'm showing myself off. Because what I've learned is different from what you have.
Yeah, and that was the whole point, to be better. If I wanted to be just like you, I would have stayed here.
Exactly. Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And I tell people, like, one guy was giving me a little trouble. Oh, you sound like an American. I'm telling him, how is that?
You don't have to even. The moment they see you, they know you are not from here.
Exactly.
So they've already built their attitude.
There's a certain wall they put up,
exactly.
And I'm telling him, language is just a tool.
Yeah.
Language is only a tool, like wearing a suit to an office. It's a tool that every sensible person, when you go anywhere, you adapt to assimilate, to be able to relate and communicate, right? Mm-hmm. It's just like anything. Every sensible species throughout history adapts to the environment they're in to survive, right? So part of it is we have to understand the fight, especially this generation. We've done a lot of work, and our tribal differences, our personal differences. We've worked on that, right? There's not that much of that tribalism and all of that. But I think the real work of this generation that we have to do as young professionals is to look at ourselves in the mirror and see the places where we are losing opportunity, the places where we are being frivolous against each other, right? And fix those areas, because we can't fail the motherland this time.
Right.
The opportunities are so great. I'm just imagining, right? Imagine we fix ourselves and invite all these African Americans who have millions of dollars here, and a lot of them are discontented, who are looking for a place to go. Imagine that.
One thing I would tell you, we are doing it, but we are more focused on the entertainment now.
Yes.
The focus should be shifting towards economic and other investment.
Right.
We have to move past the entertainment.
Right.
And then get businessmen and women into Ghana and look the opportunities that they have there. The yearly thing is good.
Yeah.
It brings money, but we need to move past that.
Yeah, way past that, because why not? Like we spoke about biblical times, and when the Egyptians were leaving,
the Jews.
The Jews were leaving Egypt, after service, they went back with a lot. And I think
It-
African Americans here, if they came back, the amount of wealth they will repatriate is unbelievable.
Yeah,
And we need
they
that.
you know, if you're a Bible student, the Bible says God gave them the Jews. He gave them favor before the Egyptians, and they gave them gold
Yes.
and gifts.
Yes.
Give them.
Yes.
So they left with
Yeah.
substance,
And I think that's a parallel to our
and that's
story.
we also have to leave with substance.
That's the parallel to our
Even
story.
though we will not be giving literally gold, but the things that we have got here
Yeah.
should be some type of
Right.
gold
Right.
that we could take back.
Right. Imagine, I don't know, Oprah being some minister in Ghana, right? A minister in Africa. Imagine her negotiating deals because she has exposure, right? But these are children of the motherland. I think we've gotten to a point where we have to be bold and invite. Like I imagine if I was president, if I become president of Ghana, the first thing I'm doing is going around the world, the diaspora, telling all parents, please lend me your children. I'm building free homes, free flight, free everything. Because understand, we are not going anywhere until we get our kids back.
What do you mean? What do you mean getting our kids back?
Our children in the diaspora, like you said, they have their experience, they have their
Oh,
exposure.
you getting them back in
Back, yes, getting them back
back
to
in.
come back home and
Yeah,
contribute.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We have these vast knowledge. For example, now the Jews who go back and build, they're the ones that are building
Yeah.
Jerusalem. They're building
Yeah,
their country, expatriating and bringing a lot of money. And so we have to do a better job. In my personal opinion, we have to do a better job of inviting, creating the atmosphere where a young guy graduates college, works for 10 years, has $200,000 in the bank. Over here, he's just a worker. Over here, but he comes back home with that money and that experience, and he gets a department. Imagine how much he can contribute. And it means something because it's among his people. Over here, you're just a cog in a machine.
But look, that's a noble idea. Like we have to go back to the trust thing too.
Right.
So of course the money is there. People's attitude has to change so that the playing field become clearer and
Right.
more trustworthy. So we could do all this investment. But I will say this. Let me say this, even though you haven't asked me. I always say that there's some type of difference between the Ghanaian migrant. I did sociology
Okay.
and anthropology, so I like to study society and culture.
Okay.
And the Ghanaian culture and the Nigerian culture are two divergent. Ghanaians always think we are better than Nigerians,
Okay.
and Nigerians also think otherwise.
Okay.
There's no way we could compare in terms of economic power and other things. Nigerians are way ahead of us.
Okay.
But this is what I have found culturally. Ghanaians and Nigerians living in America. When I watch American football, almost every team has a Nigerian player. Listen to this. When I watch basketball, almost every team has a Nigerian player.
Yeah.
Watch all other sports. Nigerians are there. You know why? Look, when they came, they realized that even though they might not have the opportunity, but they will give it to their kids. They move into the Midwest, they move into the suburbs and push their kids into all the sporting programs. And that is what we see. Ghanaians, when we came, it's like the apple don't fall far from the tree.
Right.
You come and they tell you you live in the Bronx.
Right.
There's no program here.
Right.
There's a lot of Ghanaians who, the largest concentration of Ghanaians in America is here.
In the Bronx, yeah.
The second is Worcester in Massachusetts.
Okay.
It's only sporty Ghanaians. But if you look the pattern of the Nigerian community, they live in the suburbs. they push their kids in colleges that has all this program. We don't. And so it's a testament, and I want to say this. This podcast has to go. We need to change that.
Yes.
We need to push our kids into some of these programs.
Yes.
The only way we could do that is for the parents to identify these programs, go into the areas and the communities that has these programs where it's become so accessible to their kids.
Yes.
And so the benefit that you see, what the Nigerian parents have done, is what we see in all the sports teams and all these sports events. And we got to get this case. We got to get Ghanaian kids into that. There are a few of them, of course. I won't dispute that. There are a few Ghanaians in football, in basketball. I don't think we don't have the height. But
Right.
there are a few of Ghanaians. So these are things we need platform that we could talk about.
Right.
You know, and yes.
Yes. I don't think part of that is just Nigerians have a large population. And
Well,
so if you take any sample, the averages are...
that could also be. But we don't take advantage of that.
That's
It
very
doesn't
true.
take numbers.
Yes.
It doesn't really. You could have large numbers and so, but that's how they think.
Right.
Is the thinking mentality.
Right.
It's not the size of the population.
Well, Nigerians generally, they're very bold and assertive people. I think I saw somewhere where I think it was Sam George who was talking about experience he had where the Nigerian minister said, or MP or whatever said to him, "Oh, when Ghanaian politicians steal money, it's only 1,500,000.
They go for
When they go for
big.
hundreds of millions and billions because that's just how they
Yeah,
think. They're very bold and
yes,
flamboyant people. So
yes, and the Nigerian will not care to pay $4,000 to live in Manhattan.
yes,
Nigerians will not. They won't hesitate to buy a piece of land or buy a house somewhere.
yes,
But we take yeah, the kakra bi ebinya biara.
yes.
Yeah, you know, you're trying your too much.
That's the mentality. That's how.
You're trying your too
Yep,
much.
yep,
We don't take calculate. We take risk,
Right.
but our level of risk it makes us live in a comfort zone.
Yes. So even when we win, we don't win big.
No, we scared. The Nigerian will, even if he doesn't have nothing to eat, he wants to live where the action
The
is.
opportunities are.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
The action or the opportunity. You know, when de Blasio was mayor, the housing commissioner was a Nigerian.
Yeah.
There's a show on CBS. It's a sitcom.
Okay.
It's the central figure is a Nigerian girl.
Yeah. What Nigerians,
We
Nigerian Americans are
look
doing is unbelievable.
look. These African movies, it started with Ghanaians.
Yeah.
I remember when we used to use the DV.
The DVDs.
I have Nigerian friends. I have Jamaican friends. They go and buy them. But that's what they do. When Nigerians got into it, they changed the whole thing. They took it over. The Ghanaian film industry is no more in existence.
Right.
It's all Nigerians. They move it into another level.
Right.
You understand? Look, the hip life. Burna Boy is look at all the Ghanaian artists.
Right.
They don't have the bite for the international audience.
Right.
Look at Nigerians. Hip life. Look, they've taken it over.
Yeah.
Burna Boy and DeVito, they've taken it over.
Yeah.
We give them the chance, we show them the light, and then they take it to another level.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, I got
We need to. I'm telling you, we can't continue to be so subservient and live in a little room, and we got to be bold and take very good steps to expand our territory.
Right. Part of that agenda is a problem that I think I identify among us, right? And that's why, again, we need a podcast like this because we have successful Ghanaian businessmen, but nobody knows their stories. They're not telling the young guys this. You're not showing them the ropes. Where is Sam Jonah's book? Where can I read about his stories? Because, like success is hard, and you need points of reference. You need people you can look to and say, "Oh, he went through that. He went through that. This is normal. The struggles that I'm going through now, it's normal. It's because when I hit a wall and I'm thinking, oh, it's the end of the world, I quit. But if I know some Jonah or Kene Japan went through these ropes, then it gives me courage. We don't tell our stories.
Well, of course, when you put they said if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in the book.
Yeah, but this generation is online.
Yeah, so we need to find where their interest is.
Right.
It doesn't have to be a book, a podcast,
right,
a TikTok something.
Right.
You could do
a symposium,
you could
whatever.
you could do 2 minutes TikTok video to educate.
Right.
You don't have to do, because the longer it is, you bore. But you do,
Yeah, but the whole point is we have to start telling our stories. We have to start connecting and giving these young entrepreneurs, young people, frames of reference, right? Because all they are looking to is Americans and Westerners, but they don't have people who look like them, especially Ghanaians. We don't have Ghanaians who look like us, who are doing the things, who have done the things that we want to do, and they're coming back to tell us, hey, these are the ropes. Take left, take right, make 2 turns, and you're gonna get there. So a lot of young people feel lost, right?
Well, that's why we have to have a mentorship also.
Exactly.
We need mentorship.
We need mentorship. We need role models. Really,
we do. I mean, I have kids who come to me, and I speak to them. Some of them don't even come back, but I when I tell them what it takes to be where, of course they listen.
Yeah.
But, we need to set up stuff like that we could mentor, the next generation, for them to know, what opportunities they have out there,
right.
And they could also take some kind of lessons from our experiences.
Of course, that's why I'm so proud and I'm so happy to have somebody like you, Jermaine, and other people, and what we have with Adelphi, where we have mentors who can say, these are the ropes, right? For young people like us who are trying to make it, who are trying to figure this thing out. You're saying, these are the ropes, these are the pitfalls. Watch out here, keep going there, turn left, right here. Those things help. It expedites for us, so we don't have to keep making mistakes that people made. This is what the white people, this is what other generations of people have.
Well, Duke, you hit the nail on the right head. I always say, the world we live in now, nothing that you don't have to do anything new. Everything is copy and paste.
Right. Everything.
But Ghanaians, we don't even know how to copy.
Yes.
Than to even paste it.
Yes.
I'm not chastising my.
No, we're looking in the mirror.
Yes, look the Koreans.
Yeah.
Look the Chinese.
Yes.
Look the Brazilians.
Yes.
It's all copy
and paste.
Everything.
You don't have to reinvent the wheel.
No, it's called copy and paste. Yeah. So we need to know what information we could copy and then paste it. Yeah. But we don't even know where to start to do the copy. I'm telling you.
I've been doing a lot of introspection and thought about where are we lacking, right? How come all these so-called successful people that we know are not coming back to tell us the stories, give us anecdotes, stories? How did I navigate success? How did I navigate challenges? How do you succeed? How do you make your first million? How do you make your first 20 million? How do you pivot? How do you parlay? How do you get partners? They're not coming back to tell these stories. And I think part of it is because, a lot of them don't have an understanding of how they succeeded, right? A lot of them fell into success, or a lot of them had political connections or whatever. And so the success wasn't really...
Well, I would say this. A lot of successful Africans and Ghanaians are politicians.
Exactly, that's my point.
So there's nothing to show.
There's nothing to tell.
It's not a hard earned thing.
Yes.
I'm not chastising.
No, that's the fact.
But to me, one of the things I always say is that even within the Ghanaian community here in America, you see, from Eden. I don't want to be the only one, and you don't want to be the only one successful. You understand?
Yes.
We need to be able to find a platform where we could help each other.
Yes.
and let all be successful.
Yes.
So we could contribute to anywhere we can
Right.
to help.
Right.
I don't want to be walking around as Mr. So and so. Oh, he's no.
Yes.
Of course, all these fingers are not the same.
They will never be the same.
We both of us could be given $10,000 to start something. Your $10,000 might even go down, and mine could go up.
Right.
But the opportunity has to be created, and see what talent that each of us has to be able to, bring some type of development. I'm not saying everybody could be rich, but some people can be rich if they are given the right information and the right opportunity. Right. You understand?
Yeah, I believe that. And that's why I'm so passionate. You go to Ghana, you see a lot of young people with so much hunger for success. All they need is guidance, man. All they need, and they're wasting away. You have young graduates just literally wasting away.
Well,
and it's sad.
I met a young guy in Ghana 8 years ago when I went to Ghana, and we used to communicate, but eventually he graduated. So he graduated from Legon, and he has first class in I think physics and geology. Okay. And I said, I don't want you to be wasted in here. If you have first class in physics and geology, it means you have the brains. So I told him, start putting applications in American universities, colleges. He did. He got a college year to come and do his master's. I sponsored him. I paid for his visa fees. I bought a one-way ticket for him. He just came. He just finished his first semester.
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't know what, and I told him, I'm not doing this just for you. Mm-hmm. What I'm doing to you, if you have the same opportunity, do it to someone. Because I don't know what you could do. I don't know the potentials you have. Yes. You could be the next something in Ghana or somewhere. Yeah. To save somebody. Yeah.
That's the whole story. That's the whole.
You understand? It's a seed of faith I put in you, right. And I'm believing that you could be somebody better and greater than what you see yourself today.
And help other people.
Yes. And so, even though I can't help everybody, the ones I can help, I can do it. Yeah. You understand?
Yeah. And even more than money. Of course, money is absolutely necessary. But even more than money, I think what we can reach back with is stories, man, anecdotes. I'll give you an example, right? When I was a young guy, I was a Boy Scout, and we had a 6-match. Was it a 6-match or jamboree? Something at Children's Park, and Rollins came. When we were young, Rollins was a god.
Yeah,
he was a deity. Mm-hmm. And so I'm standing in line, and Rollins comes, and he shakes my hand. He's shaking hands, and the light switch just went on.
Wow.
That impact. That's how visceral that interaction was. It was so powerful. I've never forgotten that day. Mm-hmm. And that Ghanaian patriotism, that love for country, that love for your people, right? That belonging, that oneness, that oneness has never left me.
Right.
That's the impact of having role models who you can connect with or who connect with you.
Right.
Even more than money, the light bulb can go on. You never know when somebody meets somebody and the light bulb goes on and it never turns off, and they take that experience and they translate it into a great life of service. Right. And so that's why I think it's important that people who have some type of success, have some type of maybe celebrity, can go back or find avenues to tell these stories, man. So I think that's the importance of trying to give some type of guidance and mentorship to young ones, where role models and figures who mean something to them are so important in helping them have imagination. Imagination, they say, is the engine room of God, right? If a kid, it doesn't matter where they're from, if they can imagine. I'm sure you imagined, the importance of imagining a great future. And I think that's what a lot of these successful business people in Ghana can give the young ones, finding a way to go back and say, listen, it doesn't matter. I came from the places that you come from, but I had dreams. I saw things in my imagination. and it came to pass. A lot of people in Ghana are so dejected and despondent because situations are very hard. But they need people to come back and say, listen, it's possible. Like I said, that Rollins experience and other experiences in my life, they never leave you.
That's true.
They never leave you because you have it gives you it infuses a certain energy in you that it's it demystifies it. Because they always as a deity. You can't even see you only see the man on TV. So once you interact with him,
it's a different feeling.
It demystifies it. It makes it possible for you.
Yeah, that's
and you
true.
can do it too.
Yeah,
that's why I think it's important that successful people like yourself, other people can come back and tell stories, connect, find a way. That's what these other cultures are doing. The white people, this is what they do. They find a way to go back and either through books, through seminars, through whatever, get young people to catch that energy, catch that fever, the success fever, and it stays with them for life.
Yes.
Amazing stuff. All right, so let's get into trading, right? And you're one of the very prominent guys in Adelphi, what we do at Adelphi at trading, right? We are options traders. And what has been your experience? One of the things, talking about business and success, one of the great opportunities that we have as a people is the ability to put capital in the markets and make our capital work for us. Learn the skill, learn methods, learn strategies to be able to capitalize on what other races and other people are already finding success in. And this is why we created Adelphi to help our people, because like you said earlier, when we come here, we are looking for the low-hanging fruits. Right? We always want the low-hanging fruits.
Right.
But there are opportunities out there where with a little bit of skill and a little bit of time and practice, you can go for the big leagues. And that's what we're trying to do with Adelphi. Try to give our people the skill, the knowledge, the opportunity to learn a skill that can transform their lives if they're patient and if they apply themselves to the strategies. What has been your experience with Adelphi or with trading, basically? You started your career on Wall Street, you said. So
yeah, of course. I had some type of investment background. So when Jermaine told me that this platform that he wants me to be part of it, I said yes. I'll put my feet dip my feet into it, and it's almost a year and a half now.
yes.
That I joined the group, the Adelphi trading group, and I've learned a lot of stuff. A lot. I've had people come to my apartment and they wonder. They said, "Oh, is there any way I could also learn this?" And I had one of my pastors come and say, "Mr. Bin, this is a skill that you could take with you forever," and that thing stuck with me. Even though it's not easy, and like I just said before, even the podcast, if it's that easy, everybody will jump into it.
Right.
But it takes time, it takes experience, learning, and getting to know your style. But then I think the opportunity is big.
Right.
The opportunity is great. That's what I see.
Right.
I see that. And to me, when I see, if I don't believe in this, Duke, I would have left a long time ago.
Right.
It hasn't been easy. I won't tell you that it's easy. But I see that the opportunity is there.
Right.
And so that is what, and I think the goal of this platform is not just for a few people, but to expand and reach out. Of course, we can preach that when you come today or tomorrow, you're going to make millions of dollars, because it doesn't work that way.
Nothing does.
Yes, it doesn't work that way. And people are looking for a quick way to make money. This is not a place for you. And even in business investment, they always say, the SBA says that if you could survive your first 3 years, then you are in good business. Most small businesses, year 2, year 3, the percentage is there, about 40% small business when they start. They don't go past the 3 years. The 3 years is the line in the sand. And so, to me, I've been in this program for a year and a half. It's been ups and downs. Sometimes it's my own personal mistakes that I do. But to me, I see that the opportunity is there. I'm telling you. This thing, if you know what you're doing, and if you have the capital, you have the right mindset and the experience, and you go what the market tells you, you could make millions of dollars. Even though, like I said, I will stress that it's not going to be a straight line up. That days you're going to hit a bump. That days you have to take your losses. That days you have to take your profits. That days you have to take your victories. And so to me, it is a very good area, not just for me, but everybody who wants to learn a new skill. You could even take this in your retirement. And the world that we live in is a small village now. You could do this trading anywhere. You could do anywhere. With the access to internet, you could. So that's why I'm so adamant and strong to learn this as a skill. Even though I'm successful in other areas, but I want to add more to it. And this is a skill I can't let go. I can't. Look, I take this as a job.
I see that. You're
take this
already a
as a
very
job.
successful man, but the amount of energy and time you invest in applying yourself to this stuff is admirable. You're one of the great guys that we have, one of the mentors, one of the senior guys that we have in our community, and you're always on, you're always enthusiastic, energetic about it, even though, like I said, you have more success than a lot of people. But that just shows your mentality when you see opportunities, right? That's a success gene.
Yes,
opportunities.
Look, it's there.
Yeah.
If anybody tells you it's not there, I'm telling you it's there. I see it. I see it. There's a story that they said when the white people went to South Africa, the indigenous were using diamonds to kill birds. I'm telling you. They were using diamonds, and they looked at them and said, "Woo,
these guys don't know what they have.
They don't know what they," and that's why they pushed them. All this apartheid. Most of these white people who went there were prisoners. The first wave of the prisoners who were in
Europe.
In Europe, they pushed
they
them.
Sent them there. Same thing with the Chinese.
But when they went there, even prisoners and all those Indians and all, when they saw the indigenous, they said, To me, not doing this is like using the diamond to kill a bird.
Right. You're missing a great opportunity.
I'm telling you.
What you have.
You understand? So it's a good platform, and kudos to Jermaine and Duke and Suso and all the leaders on the platform that are trying to stretch themselves out. Jermaine and you and Suso don't have to do this, but they come on every Sunday and giving new skills, new ideas. But one thing I would say that on this platform, if you don't practice it, paper trading is go in there and get a bite. You learn a new. If you don't, we could all come say. What I would say is, if you don't have the time, that's okay. Because you need the time to do this. But if you have the time, and even if you have $100, $200, or $500, start somewhere.
Get your skin in the game.
Yes, don't do too crazy. Do something and learn it. Pick a ticker, spy something, and learn the behavior of the ticker. And you could dream about it. I wake up every morning looking at the SPS. I'm telling you.
Let me tell you a story of how this started. I've told this story before, right? I've known Jermaine for a while, and he tells us in around 2012 about some obscure new investment called Bitcoin. And he says, I bought a little bit. Everybody get into it. Guess what? That's when I was fast. A lot of us were fast. Young and out of college and fast. So nobody paid no heed to that. Fast forward, 2019, 2020, there's this big new investment called Bitcoin making everybody a millionaire. We missed out.
Yeah.
That's when I told myself we need to start something like this because we missed out on.
But Jermaine didn't miss.
Yes,
that.
Jermaine had already bought it. The point of that is that.
But he sold all of them.
No, I'm not sure.
He still has some.
Yeah, he has some. Of course, you know Jermaine is an
Yeah.
investor. But the point of that is information, right? And using that information, and that's why this Adelphi platform is for, right? Success is all about information. It's not about hard work.
Yeah.
It's not. It's really not. It's about being close.
You have access to certain
information, right? And that's why we are so passionate.
And not only that, also opportunity.
Yes. An opportunity comes because we've created a community here where we are sharing information. Anything new comes, one person knows. You listen to a lot of news. You tell us, hey, this is what is happening in the business world, in the news. And everybody, so that increases everybody's chances of success. And that's what we need as a people. And that's why we're so passionate about Adelphi and what we're doing in this podcast.
And I think you guys are doing a great job.
Yeah, we have to collectively hold each other's hand and help each other succeed, especially those who are eager and willing to put in the work, right? This is trading as an opportunity, of course. Like you said, it's not easy.
It's not, but
right?
that's what I'm saying.
Nothing is.
It's not a fast making.
Yeah.
You can't make money fast there.
Yeah. That's one of the things that I'm very meticulous about when people come in first. I try to paint a picture for them. This is not a walk in the park, like nothing. Success in any field is not a walk in the park.
Yeah.
You think it's easy to become a doctor? It's not. Nothing comes easy. And so when you're ready, right, when you're ready for success, you have that understanding that this is going to be, it's a new skill. And any skill that has the potential that trading has, of course, is going to take you applying yourself assiduously and constantly, right? And so when people come in, I try to paint to them a picture where this is a skill that is generational. Imagine you have a skill like this, you can teach your children. This is a skill you can pass on, like you said, even in your old age, your retirement
you could
have your little trading desk in your little retirement house and make money and be engaged in the market and take opportunities of this. Right?
It will keep you active.
Yeah, and these are opportunities that I think we are locking ourselves out, and this is why I think Adelphi, we are so passionate about it. I was telling Jermaine, our goal is to have at least 10,000 Ghanaians privy and accessible to this stuff, this information, this trading information, this scale, right? As many people as possible, and then create disciples who go out and say, listen, this is a new opportunity. Of course, it's not for everybody. You know?
Well, one thing I also want to pitch in is we also have to teach people how to buy long-term stocks.
Yes.
It shouldn't just be options.
Right.
You know, long-term, the risk is a little bit lower there.
Right.
But, I think I was reading something yesterday about Jeff Bezos and his siblings. When he started this bookstore thing online, he asked for family investment. Right. And that's one thing and he had two of his siblings, his sister and his brother. Each of them, he went around, told friends, of course. His actual siblings, each of them gave 10,000. You know how much that investment has turned into?
I can only imagine.
Billions.
Yeah.
The ones that he told them, friends and family, that didn't believe, didn't take the risk. Look, they're beating themselves. Serious.
Yeah.
It's too late.
Yeah, it's too late.
I was reading yesterday. $10,000 turned into billions of dollars, and they are using their money for philanthropy and all of that. And so to me, risk, and I always say, everything that we do involves risk.
Living is risk.
This drinks you have here, if I start drinking it, it's a risk I'm taking.
Walking is risk. You don't know if you're going to
fall. The moment I walk out,
it's all risk.
You don't know what bullet is flying.
It's all risk. The whole thing.
But we don't know.
But they don't teach us that.
Yes. We don't know everything. Even drinking water alone.
Yes, people die from it.
You could choke or
Somebody was sitting in the living room. A plane was lost, whatever,
and then
and killed them.
yes,
They were just in their house.
yes, yeah.
So the whole thing is risk through and
yeah,
through.
because it's there's it's not an obvious risk.
Right.
We assume that
Right.
it's okay.
I think part of it is we as a people want, we're illusion. We have illusion about security. We want security.
But everybody does, though.
You think so?
Yeah,
Well, we are very risk averse. More
Of
than like
course.
you're talking about Nigerians.
Yeah.
Our people, Ghanaians, is what I'm referring to. We scared of risk and we don't take a lot of risk. But like you said, like I watch you, right? You're one of my mentors. I watch you and your relation to risk, right? You are bold. You take risks, and maybe it's because you have a lot of money already.
No, I don't have a lot of money.
But it had to start from
Yeah.
when you started from business. That mentality that I have to put some skin in the game.
Yep.
I have to spin the wheel. If you don't spin, you have no chance.
Yeah.
If you spin, you might lose. But that's the price.
Yeah, you have to pay a price for anything.
That's the price you pay.
Yeah.
Because even the life that you're living, could be gone tomorrow. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So trading is risk. What we do is a little risky, but
It is. It
without
involves
knowledge
a lot of
and
risk.
without
but
skill,
but
it becomes way risky. But there's opportunity.
they always say that the best part of each meat is the liver.
Right by the bile.
You have to skillfully
Yes.
take the bile out
Right.
to get the liver.
Yeah.
And no bones anymore.
Yeah. Remember
But that's where God put
the danger, the bitterness.
because if you even if you're killing a chicken,
Right.
there's a way to take because if the bile spill,
Yeah, it makes the whole meat becomes bitter. And that's the skill of life, trying to navigate pitfalls.
But the point is that bile which involves is so bitter and kind of you could equate it as a risk.
Yeah.
Because risk is
Yeah.
it's attached to the best part of the meat.
It's attached to the glory,
Yes.
the goodness.
Yes. So you're not
You
gonna
can't have one without the other. You
Yes.
just have to know how to navigate.
exactly.
Yeah.
You can't have it easy anyway.
Yeah.
Easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Friday I made 10,000? Would you see me here? I said, dude, but I could make $10,000.
Yeah, you do.
I could make $10,000.
You do.
Easy. I could make 10,000.
No, it's just the opportunity that
Yeah.
this is such a great opportunity, right? And for me, it's just if you have the appetite. I tell all the people, if you have, like you were talking about long-term investment, you have money sitting in the bank, you have 3,000, 1,000, 2,000, whatever happen sitting in the bank, collecting nothing but the bank is using your money to make money. Basically, that's what it is. You're giving your money to the bank, they're making thousands, they give you $30 every year. If you have a strategy, and we do have strategies where it's very minimal risk, where you're buying long term or you're doing covered calls, covered spread, what we call spreads, or even buying long term, right? Understanding the skill, understanding the dynamics of supply and demand and support and resistance and levels, understanding all that, and then you just sit back. The thing drops to a certain level, it's going to pick up there, and then you make way more than the bank will ever pay you.
Yeah.
Your broker will ever give you. It's just scale. And we're living in a time where everything is decentralized, right? The information is decentralized. Everything is available. So all you need to do is apply yourself, take the course, learn the skill, and see what life has for you, right? That's all it is,
Yep. I mean, I would say this again. The opportunity is there. And so, it takes a good mindset of the future to see what we see today.
Yeah.
And I see that. And I'm building myself. I think the first time I spoke on the platform, I said, this is like going to a school, getting a skill. It's a 4-year college. So you're paying your school fees. And so when you graduate with the skills that you need, then you could be on your own and start making the money. I'm not saying it would take 4 years for you to master the tricks of the trade, but of course it takes time.
Yes.
And it takes experience and it takes learning. You have to learn to be successful in this trading business. And I think if people have done it, these Indians, Jermaine always say his Indian friends, they do it. Of course, they lose sometimes, but they make millions of dollars. Some yes, yeah. But
Big leagues.
yeah, but he won't tell you.
Yeah. It's big
Yeah,
leagues,
yes,
of course.
yeah.
But
He,
it's just a possibility.
he's
right?
doing very well.
Yeah.
He's doing very. But we're all gonna get there.
Yeah, we all do.
I mean, I don't think Jermaine started yesterday.
Right.
He started several years
Yes,
ago.
Right.
So he's mastered the trade.
Right.
So we're all going to get there.
Right.
And he's pouring himself. And that's one thing. He's very humble.
But Jermaine is one person who came under you, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
And Jermaine, the reason why I still have relationship with him, and when I first started my first business, I was always hiring Ghanaians, and hear this. A lot of the people I hire, they quickly go. They think they've learned
The business.
and then they go and set up something and it collapses. I'm telling you.
Yes.
You can never think you are greater than your master.
Your master, yes.
You understand? Your master has some tricks that
Yes.
you probably don't have.
Yes.
But Jermaine was the only kid who, when he wanted to move on, he came to me. I didn't even take him serious. He said, "So being pray for me." So I have a 5-minute talk with him and I bless him. I said, "Go ahead." Jermaine didn't even go and set up a store 10 miles. He went behind me and set up a store. You understand?
Yeah, right.
The store he left, you make a 10 blocks, he's right behind
Oh,
me.
right, the same block.
But I didn't take offense.
Right.
I said, you know the mentality I had?
Right.
I said, when you go to Makola, we have 10 women
Selling tomatoes.
the same. But at the end of the day, everybody takes. So I'm like, okay, he will have his portion of the market. So I'm not going to go crazy. I bless him, let him do what is. And so Jermaine has, always been my guy, and so we had that communication. So when he told me about this, I said, I'll give it a shot, and I think I'm stuck with